Quiz tomorrow is on sigma notation and estimating areas under curves using finite number of rectangles. So basically what you did on assignment 34 and 35, those two things, that would make up the content of the quiz.
Alright.
Alright, the whole purpose of giving each of these terms its own sum sign is because we can apply a different shortcut to each of those summations. The first sum I'm not going to write a sum sign for this step because I'm going to apply a summation shortcut to this constant 15.
15.
Yeah. If you remember, the summation of a constant is just the constant times n. You're going to want to know that. You're going to want to know, by the way, for the quiz, you're going to want to know summation shortcuts for constant and for I, for sure. So the shortcut for the constant is just whatever the constant is times n. Excuse me.
Yes.
Minus. This 4 over n is a constant. I'm going to throw that out front of the next term. The summation of I, which you're going to want to know for tomorrow, the summation of I is what? N times n plus 1 all over 2. And then we got another term, it's minus. The constant I'm going to put out front is 4 over n squared. And then the summation shortcut for I squared
2n plus 1.
is what?
Is it n plus 1 and 2n plus 1?
Is it n plus 1, 2n plus 1? Oh, you did.
Yeah, I think it's
On
1
the
plus
cheat
1.
sheet. Number 6.
It's
N quantity n plus 1.
All over 6, right?
There's
Alright. So it's all that, and then a 2 over n. That thing just keeps coming on along for the ride, doesn't it? But no more summation signs. So this and this and this came from our summation shortcuts. If you're looking at your notes later and wondering where those came from, that's where. And now it's just crazy algebra fun.
crazy for algebra.
15n we can't really do anything with. Good enough. This next term, the 4 over the 2, I guess we could reduce that, right?
Yeah, might as well.
4 over 2 is 2 over 1. The n over the n, they'll cancel out.
2n plus 2.
2 quantity n plus 2, right? Or no, 2 quantity, I guess if I write it that way, I need the plus 1 still. Next term.
Could you make the
Could you just read that 2
over n?
plus 2?
4 turns to
Here?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I'll get to that in the next step at this point. I'm sorry.
4 turns to 2.
One more time.
4,
Yeah.
2, 6, 3.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah. 4 6
And then
is 2/3.
n, and then
That's a 1.
Yeah, the n up here can reduce with at least one of the n's underneath. This thing we can just FOIL out. So 2n squared. Oh, and look at there's a minus in front of this term. So whatever I put in this term better be in parentheses. Wow. So FOIL out the top. You get it. 2n squared.
plus 3n.
Yeah, plus n plus 2n, which you're right, we'll combine. and plus 1. And it's all over what, 6n?
3n.
3n. Oh, and not only that, but there's a 2 on the outside. Super duper. Yeah, squeeze it in there somewhere. Can't forget about this 2. And of course, your old pal 2 over n waiting around on the outside to do something.
What a dirty dog.
If you say so. Let's simplify what we can once again. Actually, that's probably about the worst of it. Limit as n approaches infinity of
13.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to write it all out. I'm nervous I'm going to make a mistake if I try to do too much at once. So I'm going to call this 15n. This is minus 2n and minus 2 for those 2 loops. Reducing this little disaster gives you, it looks like 4/3 for the fraction, for the number part. N squared over n will just give you an n up top. Maybe I'm just going to call it 4/3 n. How about that?
Alright.
This thing over this thing, keeping in mind the 2 is,
2 is still
holy smokes, distributing in.
just 2/3. Minus 2/3.
Yep. 2n over 3n is minus 2/3 because this minus is on the outside. So there's so many little algebra steps here, you've got to be a little careful.
It would be minus 4/3.
What if you just put the n and the 2 together?
Yeah, that would have been more efficient.
Oh, okay.
1.
You're right. I'm going to end up doing that in the end anyway. But again, there's no exact order to these. Just get all your steps done and then you'll come out okay.
Just look at the sausage.
Was I getting something?
Yes.
Here we got a negative 2 on the outside times this 2n gives you a negative 4n over 3n.
What happened to the ends on the 2/3? Because the ends cancel. Oh, the
Yeah. Yep. Kind of do the same thing here. This n and this n will cancel out as well. Here you got a negative 2 times a 1. That's negative 2 up top. So you got a negative 2 and then a 3n on the bottom.
No. And then 2n.
2 over n on the outside. It's never n.
Huh.
All right.
Oh, we did.
There it goes. We're gonna get it though. It's like maybe 2 more steps. Maybe 2.